everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are talking about books I would like to get for Christmas. So I have decided not to do a 12 days of Bookmas this year. One, because it's a lot of work leading up to December and the actual 12 days of Bookmas. But also I don't see a ton of engagement versus when I keep to my normal schedule during the year. And I think part of it is because holidays and people are busy, and I think another part of it is the YouTube algorithm, and it really doesn't like when you mess up your schedule. So I'm just gonna do my normal couple videos a week, but one thing I still wanted to do was some of the Christmas content things that I usually do, and one thing that I love to do is tell you guys about the books I would like for Christmas, because I don't actually receive Christmas presents anymore from family. I am now at that point where I have 2 kids and I have a husband, and so when I actually get presents from my parents, it's usually for a couple gift, like for me and my husband, which, I mean, I sometimes do the same thing for them, so it's completely understandable. And then for my siblings, we don't really give each other presents anymore. We give the nieces and nephews, and then they give my kids. We give the cousins presents, you know what I mean? So I'm at that point where this is sort of living vicariously through YouTube, through BookTube, because I'm probably not going to receive these from family for Christmas. I will say some of my friends through BookTube, I do I'll send books to them for Christmas or the holidays, and they'll send things to me, and I 100% appreciate it. I do not expect it, but this is sort of me telling you the books that I would like to have around this time of year. I think a lot of these, if not all of them, are actually books that came out this year. Some of them were books that came out November, December, things that I do want to read, but I just haven't purchased yet, and I probably won't purchase for myself this year, if that makes sense. So I did decide to just pick 10 books that I still really would like, and they probably just came out the end of the year, you know, whatever. I'm not going to end up buying them for myself right now because we are at the very end of the year, and I'm not planning on buying myself anything else. So I would 100% love to receive them for Christmas, and we're just gonna say it. I probably won't get them from family or anything like that, but these are the ones that are on the top of my list. So the first one that I have here is Till Death Do Us Barred by Rose Black. This is going to be an LGBTQ cozy fantasy about monsters and necromancy. It actually says marriage isn't always sunshine and unicorns. Sometimes it's monsters and necromancy. So it's been almost a year since Logan the Bear Thieker hung up his axe and settled down with his sunshiny bard husband Pie. But when Pie disappears, Logan is forced back into a world he thought he'd left behind. I think cozy fantasy is one of those genres that's definitely up there right now in terms of popularity, but also those are the kind of things that I do think I really gravitate towards, and the cover is gorgeous, and so yeah, this is one of the ones on my list. Then I also have Enchanted to Meet You by Meg Cabot. So Meg Cabot is one of those authors that I remember reading a lot of her YA things when I was back in high school, and this is going to be an adult paranormal romance, fantasy romance, witchy romance even. In her teenage years, lovelorn Jessica Gold cast a spell that went disastrously wrong and brought her all of the wrong kind of attention, as well as a lifetime ban from the World Council of Witches. So no one is more surprised than Jess when 15 years later, tall, handsome WCW member Derek Winters shows up in her quaint little village of West Harbor and claims that Jess is the chosen one. I'm assuming there is going to be romance probably between Jess and Derek, but part of the reason I wanted to read this is because I have name recognition with the author. I've read YA stuff from her, but not adult stuff, and I really am into the sort of light paranormal romance sort of stuff, so yeah. The next one I have here is The Infinite Miles by Hannah Ferguson. This is one that I don't think I ever talked about in a new releases like upcoming video that I have on my channel like every quarter. The other two were, this is one that I didn't realize was a thing, like I had not heard of it until after it had already come out, and so I just haven't picked it up yet, but it is gonna be like a science fiction time travel story, and I'm very, very intrigued. It's gonna be a sorry, some of these words in this here. A wacky time-traveling sci-fi odyssey wrapped in an elegiac ode, I don't think I said it right, to lost friendship and a clever homage to Doctor Who. The Doctor Who part definitely got me as well. To save the future, she must return to the beginning. 3 years after her best friend Peggy went missing, Harper Starling is lost. Lost in her dead-end job, lost in her grief, all she has are regrets and reruns of her favorite science fiction show, Infinite Odyssey. Then Peggy returns and demands to be taken to the Argonaut, the fictional main character of Infinite Odyssey. But the Argonaut is just that. Fictional, until the TV hero himself appears and spirits Harper away from her former best friend. Traveling through time, he explains that Peggy used to travel with him but is now under the thrall of an alien enemy known as the Incarnate, one that has destroyed countless solar systems. Then he leaves Harper in 1971. Stranded in the past, Harper must find a way to end the Incarnate's thrall without the help of the Argonaut. But the cosmos are nothing like the Technicolor stars of the TV show she loves, and if Harper can't find it in herself to believe, in the Argonaut, in Peggy, and most of all in herself, she'll be the Incarnate's next casualty, along with the rest of the universe. So yeah, this was not something that I had knowledge of before it came out, but I'm super intrigued, especially since it does seem like it plays like a Doctor Who sort of episode thing, like against maybe the Master. I don't know, like I'm very, very intrigued by this. Then we have one that technically has not come out yet, but it does come out before Christmas, called Game On by Ceresia Glass. I am so ready for this one. This is one of those ones that I've just been like waiting for like all year, it seems like, and it's going to be coming out soon and it still has not released yet. But this is going to be a romance with like video games and stuff, and so yeah. Samara Reynolds has built a large following as a gamer under an anonymous screen name and uses her skills as a DEIA consultant to advocate for equal representation in video games. When she posted a video critiquing the popular game Legendfall, she knew she'd get a reaction from her fans, but the video leads to hundreds of female gamers critiquing the game and its company, Artemis Games. The only thing more unexpected than starting an online movement is getting a job offer from the handsome CEO of Artemis. So it's going to be like the owner of that game company and her who had critiques of it eventually coming together with a romance and everything. Like I really, really want this one. We also have Let's Play Murder by Kessia Lupo. This is another one that I didn't talk about in a new releases one because I didn't know about it until after it had already come out. But like, it has video games again. I really, really want this one. Video games have never been more murderous. I mean, like, come on. Veronica wakes up trapped with 4 strangers in a sprawling manor house in a snowstorm with a dead body. A mystery right out of an Agatha Christie novel. It feels so real, but it isn't. This is VR, and this is the game. A rumored Easter egg hidden in other VR games that draws you into competition for a prize beyond your wildest dreams. And there's no escaping the VR world until the game is won. But while Veronica and her fellow players are trying to figure out the puzzle, something is not right in the VR world. Blackouts, glitches, NPCs acting strange, and a mysterious figure haunting their footsteps. Then, when a player dies, and also dies in real life, all hell breaks loose. Without warning, the game Veronica thought she was playing gets overshadowed by a much darker and much more real mystery. Who is killing us? It may not be the game Veronica wanted to play, but it's one that she has to win or die trying. So first off, talking about video game stuff, like I'm very, very intrigued by that. I like the idea that it's sort of like an Agatha Christie-esque mystery part to it as well, but then it also feels a little bit like Sword Art Online in the fact that they're like trapped in this game, and if you die, you die in real life. Like I am so excited about this one. Like I just haven't picked it up yet. When did this one actually come out? Came out in April. I don't think I realized or knew anything about it until like much later in the year, but like I want to read it. The next one we have here is This Spells Love by Kate Robb. This is going to be another paranormal witchy romance. A young woman tries to heal her heartbreak by casting a spell to erase her ex from her past, but she wakes up in an alternate reality where she's lost more than she wished for in this witty, whimsical friends to lovers debut. I also love Friends to Lovers. I remember wanting to read this and then talking about it in a new releases video, and rereading the summary made me want it even more. Like, this is one that I've been wanting, but it literally just came out today, the day I'm filming it, December 5th. So like, it's something that I obviously would not have been able to pick up until today. And so I know I'm not gonna get it yet, but like, I want it. What if one little wish changed everything? When Gemma gets dumped by her long-term boyfriend, she reacts the way any reasonable 28-year-old would, by getting drunk with her sister, kooky aunt, and best friend Dax. After one too many margaritas, they decide to perform a love-cleansing spell, which promises to erase Gemma's ex from her memory. They follow all the instructions, including a platonic kiss from Dax to seal the deal. When Gemma wakes up, she realizes that this silly spell has worked. Not only does it seem that she never dated her ex, but the rest of her life is completely unrecognizable. The worst part, Dax has no idea who she is. To reverse the spell and get back to her old life, Gemma must convince her once best friend, now near stranger, to kiss her. But as she carries out her plans, she finds herself falling for him hard. Soon, Gemma begins to wonder whether she even wants to go back to the way things once were. What if Dax was the one all along? Like, I got a little bit of chills with that. Like, I really, really want this one. Then we have the wishing game. This is one that I think was a book of the month pick, and I don't do book of the month. And I think because of that, it's been everywhere. At least it feels like it's been everywhere. And because of that hype, some people seem to really like it, some people don't. But the premise of this book actually seems amazing. And it says, make a wish. Lucy Hart knows better than anyone what it's like to grow up without parents who loved her. In a childhood marked by neglect and loneliness, Lucy found her solace in books, namely the Clock Island series by Jack Masterson. Now a 26-year-old teacher's aide, she is able to share her love of reading with bright young students, especially 7-year-old Christopher Lamb, who was left orphaned after the tragic death of his parents. Lucy would give anything to adopt Christopher, but even the idea of becoming a family seems like an impossible dream without proper funds and stability. But be careful what you wish for. Just when Lucy is about to give up, Jack Masterson announces he's finally written a new book. Even better, he's holding a contest at his home on the real Clock Island, and Lucy is one of the 4 lucky contestants chosen to compete to win the one and only copy. For Lucy, the chance of winning the most sought-after book in the world means everything to her and Christopher. But first she must contend with ruthless book collectors, wily opponents, and the distractingly handsome and grumpy Hugo Reese, the illustrator of the Clock Island books. Meanwhile, Jack, the mastermind Masterson, is plotting the ultimate twist ending that could change all of their lives forever. I think this one just sounds so good. And again, I know it got really hyped because like Book of the Month had it. But like the fact that it's about books and about an author and there's like a game or something in it too, like, yes. Then we have Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. I know Kirsten White's done some like adult horror mystery thriller things and they haven't quite worked out, but I know some people that have really actually enjoyed this. And again, the premise sounds so good. So 30 years after a tragic accident shut down production of the classic children's program Mr. Magic, the 5 surviving cast members have done their best to move on, but just as generations of cultishly devoted fans still cling to the lessons they learned from the show, the cast, known as the Circle of Friends, have spent their lives searching for the happiness they felt while they were on it. The friendship, the feeling of belonging, and the protection of Mr. Magic. But with no surviving video of the show, no evidence of who directed or produced it, and no records of who or what the beloved host actually was, memories are all the former Circle of Friends has. Then a twist of fate brings the castmates back together at the remote desert filming compound that feels like it's been waiting for them all this time. Even though they haven't seen each other for years, they understand one another better than anyone has since. After all, they're the only ones who hold the secret of that circle, the mystery of the magic man and his infinitely black cape, and maybe the answers to what really happened on that deadly last day. But as the Circle of Friends reclaim parts of their past, they begin to wonder, are they here by choice or have they been lured into a trap? Because magic never forgets the taste of your friendship. I'm just gonna say, again, I got goosebumps reading that one. I got chills. Like, I want to read it. We also have another one that technically came out today on December 5th, and it's technically yours by Denise Williams. This is another romance that I have been waiting for, it feels like, all year, and it's finally coming out. So, 7 years ago, he fell in love with a stranger he couldn't have. Today, she's back in his life, and the sparks between them threaten to set her career on fire. Pearl Harris has learned the hard way to be careful in work and in love. When she's appointed acting director of Our Code, a nonprofit aimed at inspiring high schoolers to code, she has a chance to make lasting change for the organization, but a scandal has put their reputation at risk. Further complicating matters, Pearl didn't expect the one man she hasn't stopped thinking about in 7 years to be the newest member of her board of directors. Cord Matthews fell for Pearl when they met in an elevator 7 years ago. She's just his type, smart, capable, and makes him laugh. But when she broke his heart, he decided love wasn't for him. After 5 years with no contact, their connection is immediate despite the many roadblocks in their way, and Cord must consider breaking his ban on serious relationships. But going public with a romance between them might derail Pearl's career and progress she's made at Our Code. Pearl and Cord both are hesitant to trust their feelings and take a risk as they grow closer, but it becomes impossible to keep ignoring the electricity between them. Cord is a skilled programmer, but a workplace romance might spell disaster for both of them, and love isn't easily debugged. So I know this one isn't video games, but I think that the technical aspect of it is drawing me in. Like, I really, really want to read this one as well. And then one other one that, again, I did not talk about in new releases because I didn't know about it until after I filmed things, is Christmas and Other Horrors. It's an anthology collection edited by Ellen Datlow, I'm sorry. And it's going to be by a whole bunch of different authors. Some of them are ones that I've read before and really enjoy. Some are new to me. But they're going to be different horror stories set around Christmas, but not even necessarily Christmas. It does say that there are other traditions and stuff here. So alongside Christmas celebrations around the world are Makara Sankranti in the Hindu calendar in India. There's Yalda Night in Iran, Hanukkah, the Roman Saturnalia, the Krampus, Dongji in East Asia, where sunlight passes through the 17 arches of the 17th Arch Bridge. There's the Summer Palace. Like, there's lots of different things of holidays and things around this, like, winter time. Ooh, and then it says, because the weather outside is frightful, but the fire inside is hungry. Like, I really want to read this, probably because also a lot of things I want to read this month are holiday or Christmas related, but they end up being like romances and stuff, so the fact that this isn't is very intriguing. They also have a lot of authors, so let's talk about those just because there's a list here. The authors that they have featuring stories in here are Nadia Bulkin, Terry Dowling, Tananarive Due, Jeffrey Ford, Christopher Golden, Stephen Graham Jones, Glenn Hirschberg, Richard Caudry, Alma Katsu, Cassandra Kaw, Josh Mallerman, Nick Mamadas, Garth Nix, Benjamin Percy, M. Rickert, and Karen Warren. So again, this is the only Christmas holiday book. It says Christmas in the title, so I'm going with like Christmas book for now. It's the only Christmas book I have on this list of things that I want for Christmas, but yeah, I had to include this obviously because of that, but everything else are things that like I still have been thinking about for a while, or I know a lot of these seem to have some sort of romance or like a cozy element to them, which these are the kind of things that I would like to read this time of year. So these are the 10 books that I would really like for Christmas that I'm probably not going to get for Christmas. But I love doing this video every year, so again, I had to do it. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!